Hi, Guerreros. So at this point in your lesson, you should be going through Nearpod and getting to the point where you have made a copy of the text Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. In this part of the assignment, you are going to read and annotate the text Shooting an Elephant. We're going to continue working with this text, but before you move on in this presentation, I want to make sure that you've read the entire personal essay because the next few slides are going to ask you questions about what you read. Okay? So in this part of the assignment, you are going to annotate the personal essay, Shooting an Elephant. I already went ahead and made a little note for myself because like we talked about last week, we're going to be reading a lot of memoirs and personal essays. And oftentimes, the purpose of a personal essay is to reveal the writer's experiences and how that impacts their identity. And so we're really going to be thinking about that as we read Shooting an Elephant because maybe that aligns to Orwell's actual purpose in this text. As you annotate, you are going to be asking yourself the following two guiding questions. How does Orwell use literary tools such as symbolism, metaphor, irony, and connotation or diction to convey his main point, and what is that point? And two, what is Orwell's overall argument or message, and what rhetorical choices does he use to make it? This is the essence of a rhetorical analysis. You are taking what the purpose is, and you're understanding what that purpose is through the rhetorical choices that are being made in the text. And so as you're annotating, I'm looking for you to look for symbolism, metaphor, irony, and diction, okay? As you annotate, you can also use Space Cat to help you find those important moments of the text. I'm not gonna go through and read the blurb about George Orwell, but you can go ahead and do that before you start annotating on your own. But I am going to start by annotating the first paragraph with you, thinking about those two guiding questions. So, starting with Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. In Mall Mine in Lower Burma, I was hated by large numbers of people, the only time in my life that I have been important enough for this to happen to me. I was a subdivisional police officer of the town, and in an aimless, petty kind of anti-European feeling, anti-European feeling was very bitter. No one had the guts to raise a riot, but if a European woman went through a bazaar alone, somebody would probably spit Batal juice all over her dress. As a police officer, I was an obvious target and was baited whenever it seemed safe to do so. And so one of the first things I noticed in this text is that he talks about the hatred of the Burmese people in this text of him because he's a police officer. And so when I think about my guiding question, one thing that I know about police officers is that they can often symbolize authority. And so I'm going to write that because it seems important, right? A lot of people hate him. So I'm going to write, as a police officer, he may symbolize European authority to the indigenous people of the area. And so that already causes a conflict within itself, right? If he is a symbol for European authority in a place that is not European, that might cause some of that conflict, personal conflict in him. When a nimble Burman tripped me up on the football field and the referee and other Burmen looked the other way, the crowd yelled with hideous laughter. Okay, so the crowd yelled with hideous laughter. That moment of diction shows tension between the narrator, or Orwell, and the people of Burma. And the people. I'm just going to write the people. This happened more than once. In the end, the sneering yellow faces of young men that met me everywhere, the insults hooted after me when I was at a safe distance, got badly on my nerves. So even just like this moment here, that offensive language that is in the text, the sneering yellow faces, this kind of reveals that even though he was hated by the people, he also felt tension. He also might have felt negative towards them. And so like this moment of diction shows me that Orwell might feel negative about the people. So as you continue reading, this is what I'm looking for you to do, to write comments as you annotate and highlight moments in the text that answer those two guiding questions, okay? Looking for symbolism, irony, diction, and metaphor. Okay, awesome.